Whatever. Let's see. Imagine the. I think this should probably be good. Yeah. Hey guys, we're back again with another one of these games. Today we're gonna play something called The Sad Story of sorry if I pronounce this wrong. Emmeline Burns. Sorry. But yeah, Emmeline Burns. I don't know how much I love these stories, but yeah. I guess I don't know anything about this one. I just know it's a short game, so these parts are gonna be really, really short. But yeah, enough yapping. More gameplay. Okay, who I play? Oh. What is these Steam like unlocking stuff? It's all Auntie Catherine's fault, of course. Most things are according to Mum. Seeing Mum's favorite dress when they were both schoolgirls was bad enough, but stealing the name of her first and only daughter? Now that's low. Not many of us can seek to within our lives. My name was supposed to be Amelia. Mum has only loved the name Amelia, though I don't know why. She wanted to call me Amelia if I was a girl. And Thomas if I was a boy. After her father. And then Auntie Catherine ruined everything. Catherine. It's Catherine, I think. Auntie Catherine fell pregnant with her first child around the same time my mum found out she was going to have me. Their due dates were also very similar, only a few weeks apart. Though Mum and Auntie Catherine have never been particularly close, they spend more time together during their twin pregnancies than they had done over the last decade. They attended the same hospital for checkup and went to the same supports group at the Civic Century, and their rocky relationship improved over complaints by the bladder infections, morning sickness, and uncontrollable cravings for anchovies, Mum, or smoked cheese, Aunt Catherine. And then Aunt Catherine stole my name. Aunt Catherine is 1 year younger than my mum, but she always got things first. That's what Mum told me. She was the first to have her period, to pierce her ears, to have a serious boyfriend. She was the first to have a baby too. A baby girl. A girl called Amelia. Mum didn't know what to do, having her dream stolen away so suddenly. She had half of a mind to confront Catherine about it, but then in the end, she'd only just begun to repair her relationship with her sister. She didn't want to ruin it, but she was still annoyed. She still is. Mum could have called me Amelia anyway, but my name didn't feel special to her anymore, not when Aunt Catherine had used it. In the end, after much deliberation, Mum decided to go with her second option, Thomas. Since I was a girl, however, Thomas was out of the question. Was there a female variant of Thomas then? Thomasina? Thomasandra? Thomasella? Maybe not. There was Toma, however, Toma Andrews. And that's how I got my name. That might explain why I don't like it very much. It's all competition, bro. My name isn't really mine. Like the clothes that are 2 sizes big, it doesn't fit me properly. It never has. That's because it was never intended for me. If I'd been called Amelia, would my life be any different? Would it change who I am? I don't know, because I've never been an Amelia. I'm just Thomas. Toma. The weird girl with the weird name. And my name isn't the only weird thing about me. Ever since I can remember, my mum has been obsessed with family history. She said it's playing detective, peeking back into the past with only fragments of information, trying to find the truth. Mum took me to the library with her when I was small, so she could keep a watchful eye over me, my little blonde head, while she delved into the annals of our family's long history. There, she would spend hours searching through the online databases and old archives on the hunt for articles about the Spencers or the Candles or the Lintons or the Becketts or the Bradfords. Fortunately, our family used to be pretty rich back in the day. Mum says it's a lot easier to research your family tree if you come from a wealthy background. There are more records kept the comings and goings of the rich as opposed to the street beggars and the paupers. That's probably because of the money. As soon as the money is involved, people will pay attention to you. It's like that back in the 1700s, and it's exactly the same now. I remember that the floor of the library was hard, covered in the dark green carpet, was uncomfortable and scratchy, and the walls were dull grey, like the concrete blocks in the multi-story car park. Though Mom got me a library card, I always got bored within the first hour or so. There are only so many times you can reread volumes of Goosebumps. Goosebumps? Whoa! Peak series? Despite these inconveniences, however, I still found the stories Mom would tell me about long-dead relatives interesting, and the stories sounded like they came from pages of a book, not real life, not history, my history. There were stories about my great great grandfather Zachary Kendall. He used to be a priest, but was fired from his post after he physically assaulted a member of his congregation. Oh my gosh! Oh shit! Not a good person. Well, drunk on Christmas Day. Still, bro, what the fuck? There were stories. My great grandmother, Maribel Spencer, who ran away from home from the age of 15 to marry her middle-aged piano teacher, Roger Beckett. There were stories about my great aunt Rose Bradford, who was rumored to be a witch, who claimed she could cure any ache or illness with a sprig of holy. I don't know why, but these stories my mom told me of unknown people from unfamiliar times always resonated with me. Maybe it was because they weren't fictional characters or celebrities, but real people. My family, part of me. I wouldn't be alive right now without Zachary Kendall, even if he beat up a member of his congregation, and I wouldn't be alive without Maribel Spencer, even if she did have a thing for older men who could play a semi-decent for Elise. In a way, I owe them. I owe them a lot. I suppose what they say is true. Blood really is thicker than water. And speaking of blood, the local library wasn't the only place my mom's investigations led her. Oh no, that was just the tip of the iceberg. She used to take me to cemeteries a lot, not just the cemeteries by All Saints, but the cemeteries all across Lincolnshire and sometimes even further afield to Yorkshire or to Leicestershire. The thing about family history is if you get obsessed with it, like Mum, birth certificates and death certificates stop being enough. You want to see the real evidence of your ancestors' past lives yourself. Hence the graveyards. Lots of graveyards. Every weekend without fail, my mom would take me on a trip to the graveyard and search for the ancestors. Sometimes we turn it into a game. We challenge one another to see who would find Rose Bradford's final resting place the quickest. The winner got to choose what we'd listen to in the car on the way home. Being my mom's daughter, I hated her taste in music. I was desperate to beat her. I got quite good at finding graves, if I do say so myself. Even though I was around 7 or 8, my legs weren't long as Mom's. I was able to beat her 9 times out of 10. I used to think she was going easy on me, now I'm not sure. I just have a talent. I'm good at finding dead people, even if they have been dead for 2 centuries and all that's left are their bones. Now let me just get one thing straight. I'm not crazy. Don't think dead people call out to me or anything. I've never seen a ghost before, excluding the ones in horror movies. I guess it's just a coincidence. But it's quite a strange coincidence. Whenever I get into a graveyard with my mom, I just knew where to look, almost instinctively. My feet just happened to lead me to a tombstone, and via some strange skill might have inherited from Rose Bradford, the self-proclaimed psychic, I was usually right. That might be why I'm so obsessed with cemeteries, even now. Cemetery. Just like some people prefer hot weather, others cold, I like graveyards. They remind me of childhood, a fun time spent with my mom, searching for relatives. When I went looking for graves with my mom, I was almost always right. Ever since I started attending St. Hugh's College, however, I've only felt wrong. Though I get good grades, in most of my classes, I'm hopelessly lost when it comes to anything beyond that. I hardly had any friends than Hattie, and even she might turn against me if she knew how I felt about her. I'm nothing like Amelia Miller, who just so happens to be in the same form as me. She's always surrounded by people. They all love her. Would they love me if they called me Amelia instead? I don't know. But I do not know, even though it's unfair and ridiculous. I don't dislike Amelia, I'm still jealous of her. Her parents are still together and her dad has a good job. She has nice skin and pretty blue eyes. She's incredibly popular. I, on the other hand, am an awkward shy. I can't hold a conversation with anybody other than Hattie. That might be another reason why I like graveyards. There are a lot of people in them, and they can't bother me like they do in school. They're dead. That's perfectly fine by me. Oh, as the saying goes, the dead men tell no tales. They only leave tales behind, which is why we can examine as we see fit. That's why I came to Barrow All Saints this Friday, as if catching the bus to go to school. I just wanted some time, a few moments where I could stop being myself, a person I've never liked. If only I had been born as an Amelia, then my life would have been so much better. I'd be so much better. Whoa, that was looking kind of a jump scare. Oh. The day is overcast for early autumn, and thick layer of fog creeps along the ground, and grass is wet with morning dew, but the soil beneath it is firm and hard. I suppose that's to be expected. You would want to build a graveyard on the marshland, where people would run the risk of falling through the earth into the graves. I might have an affinity for the dead, but not even I fancy popping in for an unexpected visit with the Gerald Fisher, 1843 to 1912, and Emmeline, wife of the above. It's cold too. The wind snakes down my spine and I shiver. It's in rough winds though. It said it's soft, brushing past my cheeks and through my hair in an almost apologetic manner. The leaves on the trees are dark green, some already turning red and yellow, but sun in the sky, it's obscured by clouds, and everything looks so grey. My feet. It's fucking loud, wait. Can you even hear me? Okay, I'm a little above the audio now. That's so fucking loud. My feet crunch over and stay leaves with every step I take, but that's the only sound I can hear. Just me, the wind, and leaves. Holy jump scared. I didn't even see her there. As I walk through these trodden paths, I pause examining each tombstone that catches my interest. There's something strangely inviting about these old slabs of stone, almost as though they're greeting me. Why wouldn't they? I come here often. They should know me by now. Any other mother would probably find their own daughter's obsession with graveyards unsettling. Fortunately, my mom is just as weird as I am, so she doesn't question it. She must know my love of graveyards is all her fault. I nod my head in recognition. nod my head in recognition as I pass each tombstone. Alistair, Doncaster, Irene, Douglas, Charlotte Draper, Doreen Hughes, Abel Johnson, Genevieve Parsons, Audrey Wedgwood. That's a lot of names. I wonder about these people, reduced to nothing more than names and bones. What lives did they lead? Were they happy, sad, or merely bemused by all the coincidence which led them into being? For Alistair Doncaster, that happened in 1879. For Irene Douglas, it was 1894. What was the world like back then when these people were alive, and their footsteps, not mine, crunched the leaves and fell firmly against the compacted earth? I don't know, it's hard for me to imagine it. As I walk through the graveyard like Alice sinking into Wonderland, a heavy thought suddenly strikes me. What would it be like if I was already dead? Oh. I close my eyes and the wind blows across my cheeks, and I swear I can almost smell it, the earth in my nostrils, the scent of decay. Oh. Where we going? Where we going? We're gonna sink into the ground? What was that sound? It's almost like a footstep, but it can't be. I'm the only person here after all. At least I thought I was. Oh, not anymore. Oh! Unlocked an achievement! Toma meets a mysterious girl in the graveyard. A young girl stands there, her arms held by her sides, her eyes wide and blue. Whoa, who's this? Okay. Her hair is loose, light brown, her fringe cut just above her eyebrows. She wears a white dress, long and modest, which falls to her ankles. Oop, my threat protection. I don't know why. When did I scan for viruses? I think that was last weekend. Old ass notification. Her dress is comprised of a number of layers. It looks like something that belongs to another era, another time, in England when Queen Victoria was on the throne, and the horse and the carriage was still the main way people got about it. It was socially acceptable to wear bonnets in public. She looks like nobody I ever seen before, except characters in period dramas. There's something so unrealistic about her appearance, I can hardly bring myself to believe that she's really real. Maybe that's why I'm doing something I rarely ever do. My curiosity unsticks my throat, and I find myself asking her a question. Oh, first dialogue. Are you going to a costume party? Are you referring to this old thing? I'm just gonna use my regular voice. I can use it was Marina's voice, but I guess I could try. Are you referring to this old thing? Okay, we're gonna try that shit. See how long this lasts. That dress doesn't look like some old thing. It's expensive, right? I believe it was rather dear when father first purchased it. Now, however, am I not particularly well versed in the economy, so I could not give you an answer? Father? What kind of girl calls her dad father? I don't know, some people. Usually, for me, it's just papa or pa. Actually, more pa. It's my upbringing. But anyways, maybe I'm just biased because my dad vanished before I was even born. Mom told me he couldn't cope with the commitment, which was quite funny, really, because he had no qualms about commitment when he asked me to sleep with him. But father sounds far too dated. That sounds really dark. Oh my gosh. And I haven't even touched on the other stuff she said. Oh, The girl smiles, her face remains pale, and does not flush. I can imagine blood coursing beneath her cheeks all the same. She gives me an impression of blush, even though she does not. I suppose most people would use dad nowadays. Forgive me, I'm not familiar with such a phrase. It sounds quite peculiar to me. And the plot thickens. My questions only seem to invite more questions, and I find myself drawn towards this strange girl despite myself. I want to know who she is, and I want to understand her. It must be a feeling, this desperate thirst of hidden knowledge, which encouraged Mum to track down what now remains of Zachary Kendall, Maribel Spencer, Rose Bradford, and the rest. So, I've not seen you around Barrowby before. Do you live here? Have I lived here for a very long I have lived here for a very long time. But you don't look much older than me. I will be 15 years old this December. At least I should be. So she's 14 too. You say that you lived here for a long time, but I've never seen you before. You don't go to St. Hugh's, do you? She shakes her head. So what school do you go? Ruskin? Sandon? Not Walton Girls? She shakes her head again. Then, are you homeschooled? To explain what she's doing in this graveyard at 8:20 on a Friday morning, wearing such a strange outfit, she might as well have fled from one of those, old-fashioned photography parlor places. I was homeschooled. Yes, I never been to school before. I used to have Ellie, but I've not seen her in some time. Ellie? A private tutor? Something like that, yes. She was rather strict. She got so angry when I escaped from her stuffy old history lessons and hid over at the Lentins estate. She smiles a soft, gentle smile, like an old woman with remuy eyes. When recalling a fond memory, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody my age pull a face like that before. Just who is this girl? But you don't have a tutor anymore? There wouldn't be much point anymore. Is she one of those YouTube celebrities then? Oh, I wonder. She looks the part in those clothes. I can imagine her as one of those eccentric, self-proclaimed living dolls who get thousands of subscribers for eating food on camera. In the cemetery? Whoa. Never heard that before. That'd be an interesting concept, but also kind of scary. So, I'm sorry, this is the first question I should have asked. What's your name? Emily. Emily. I think I can remember that. It's a common enough name. There are 2 Emilys in my class. Emily Hargreaves and Emily Turner. I don't know if this name fits the girl in front of me enough, though. Emily sounds too simple. Somehow, and unfinished too, like a sentence ending without a full stop. I don't investigate any further, however. I hardly know the girl. What right do I have to ask so many questions? And if it would not be too rude, may I inquire as to what I should call you? Oh wait, who asked that? Was that Emily who asked that? Whoops. Oh, I was too busy on Thomas' accent. I got swept away. And if it would not be too rude, may I inquire as to what I should call you? Oh, I should have expected this. When somebody asks for your name, it's only polite to ask for theirs in return. I don't like answering this question though. I never have done. Just what is my name anyways? It says Toma on my birth certificate, but I can't bring myself to believe that. Not when I was fated, before I took my first breath, to be called Amelia. Oh my, do not look so troubled. You will make me feel guilty. I'm sorry. Ha, what a funny girl. You don't need to apologize. She thinks I'm funny, does she? That kind of stings, given how peculiar she looks. Oh my gosh. You don't need to tell me your name if you do not wish. We all have our own secrets. Are you sure you don't mind? I'm quite sure. I could just make up a name for you instead. Well, I hope you're not averse to this suggestion. I really like giving people nicknames. I would always call Miss Warren Ellie. Her first name was Helen. You see, she got mad at me because of that too.